Hello everybody and welcome to the batch review for the Promised Neverland Feature Festival. We now have all the information on all the characters. We might have had it a day or two ago if I didn't have time to make this. So here we are, batch review time, and we're going to start off with Emma. You didn't see I did some summons for Emma. I'm actually going to upload the clip to the channel at some point from the live stream because I know a lot of people don't want to sit through the whole live stream. So we'll put the clip up there for those that don't have the time. But Emma is a very interesting character simply because it has now been it's been 6 months since Hashirama came out, and her special is scarily close to Hashirama's. Now, considering you can get Emma for 9 multis and Hashirama costs 32, that's that's quite good. That's quite good. Though most people would agree that Hashirama, one of the strongest parts of his kit was his passive. Emma doesn't have the same passive. And as far as a Muso goes, I think whether people thought he was really good or really bad, everybody agreed he was not worth 32 multis. That was the one thing that everyone agreed on. He was not worth 32 multis. But is Emma worth 9 is the question we're asking today. And I would say she's okay. She's okay. I like the special. After using it a little bit myself, the paints don't really get in the way too much. I think I marginally prefer Rengoku's paint to this style, because Rengoku's one spreads across the board a bit more. The X shape instead of the burst pattern. But still good. Still good. The passive is an unconditional ultimate attack damage boost, which we like to see. Immunity to bubble extension, which again we like to see. And during turns 1 to 2 of the adventure, at the start of each turn, charge the legend summon gauge by 12%. This is okay. This basically gives you a quarter gauge after the first 2 turns, which could be used to good effect. It maybe is not personally my ideal, but there are a lot of characters that have it and it's pretty good. Like it doesn't detract from her skill set too much. I like it. I think she is a good unit. Whether or not she's worth 9 multis when we've got the anniversary right there, right around the corner, that's really up to you to decide. I personally summoned for her because I'm a big fan of the character in the series. A difficult decision to make, trust me. I went down to 0 rubies. It was not fun. The buddy skill: convert 1 block red, green, and blue bubble to rainbow, and for 1 turn, boost the attack of yellow team members by 60%. This is what I like to call bad. This is bad. This is the same buddy skill that Kurapika has, the limited Kurapika. And obviously it has gotten a buff since he was first released. He now also has this additional part to his skill, and Emma has been released with that. But the additional, 4 bubbles? The rainbow added onto that. I mean, 60% attack boost. I mean, sure, it's nice, but it's like that's more of a skill you would have seen on a standard gacha unit from 2018. You know, maybe slightly higher percentage, and you get some bubbles here as well. But it's not a standout. You know, for me, it's not a great buddy skill. If you were gonna pull for her, it would be more for her ultimate attack and passive. Not bad all in all. Norman, gotta be honest, not a fan of his skills. For 2 turns, get 50% recovery at the end of each turn, and for 2 turns, counterattack all normal attacks to all team members by 144% damage. There's some potential for damage here. There is some potential for damage. And the recovery is okay, but it's all like after the turn. It's like he doesn't do anything immediate. He doesn't give you any immediate buffs. He doesn't do any damage immediately. He just has the counter and the recovery. Now, I don't know to what effect you could use 144% counter on a standard gacha unit. Maybe you can do some okay damage. I really don't think I would be inclined to use him ever. Ever? I don't know. Like, I can't think of some really good times to use him with that ultimate attack. Okay, this is another one I really don't like. Boosts his attack by 26% and is immune to bubble extension. The attack boost would only apply to this counter attack damage because he doesn't have a proper ultimate attack, and his normal attack damage is just going to be like whatever. So I don't know. I don't get it. I don't get it. In the front line, like for a standard gacha unit in 2021, this is actually really not what I was expecting. Not really good, I don't think. There could be some like off-meta counter-attack team you could try, but I don't see it personally. I don't see it. The buddy skill, convert a random bubble to a skill bubble, convert one green and heart to yellow, and for 2 turns boost the ultimate attack damage of yellow team members by 27%. Very nice buddy skill for a standard gacha unit to have. It's actually better than Emma's. It's better than Emma's buddy skill. And that's his redeeming quality for sure. That is his key selling point. The rest, I'm not convinced of him as a front line. That's not to say that he can't get some use, and that's also not to say that he might not get a buff later, because quite often they do release units like this for a reason, and that reason will be revealed later when they have another character come along that has similar skills but with some additional effect, and then this character will get the additional effect or get the additional buff or whatever. But right now doesn't really look great to me. But there you go. Ray, who I managed to pull from my ticket. He was my one standard gacha character from this event, which is good because I wasn't going to be able to summon, and I really wanted Ray, so lucky me. Lucky me. Inflict 453% damage to one enemy, and if the enemy is tank class, inflict an additional 75% damage. I would say that's pretty standard of what we've come to expect of these gacha units, so that's fine. Boosted damage to tank, maybe not my favourite, but he will do well against tank units, so it's fine. His passive skill, reduce the number of turns of bubble and effectiveness for this unit by 3. Good. And boost this unit's ultimate attack damage by 25%. Unconditional, on a standard gacha unit, getting 25% ultimate attack damage boost. That's not too shabby. That's not too shabby at all. When you bear in mind that Norman is getting 26% attack, can't be ultimate attack damage for him because he doesn't have an ultimate attack. But the only damage he's doing is normal attack damage and counter damage, so he is going to benefit from that far less than Ray is going to benefit from this, as far as I can tell. The buddy skill, convert a random bubble to a skill bubble with 117% base damage, convert 3 red and green bubbles to yellow bubbles, and negate the 1 weakest attack boost on all enemies. We've had a couple of skills like this already come out this year. I don't dislike it. I think it can be quite useful. I don't know. I don't know. Like I said, it could be quite useful, but we've got so many of these skill bubble creators that have additional effects now. It's actually getting a bit hard to keep track of all of them and which ones are good and which ones aren't. But he's good enough as a front line, I think. Pretty solid all the way through as a unit. Nothing groundbreaking, but solid. I would say solid. Next up, we have Hugo, and I would say out of the 3 standard gacha units, has possibly the strongest support and the ultimate attack, possibly the strongest ultimate attack as well. Inflict 420% damage to one enemy, and if the enemy is weakened, inflict an additional 25%. Now, in an optimal setup, you will be weakening, so that's good. 25% is not a lot, but that's fine. But for 1 turn, boost the attack of red team members by 22%. So he is a buffer that actually does quite decent damage. His passive has a 23% unconditional attack boost. Not quite as much as Ray's ultimate attack damage boost, but still good. And reduce the number of turns of curse for this unit by 3. Remember that Hugo doesn't counter anything specific during this event. He might be good against Sonju, but that's not really a fair test of his skills, so it doesn't matter. So there could come a stage later on that he is very useful for with this particular kit. And his buddy skill, convert 1 green bubble to a skill bubble, boost its blast radius by 1, randomly convert a total of 5 block green, blue and yellow bubbles to red, and for 1 turn counter attack all normal attacks to this unit's buddy for 380%. This is going to be some new special type of buddy skill. We're going to get 1 for every type, I can tell. 380% damage. So that's like double what Norman does almost. And it's only for 1 turn, granted, but in the context of, say, PvP, the fact that this is a support skill, the fact that this is an additional ability tagged on to a skill bubble plus bubble conversion, there's something real you could be trying to do with this here. And like, if you've got a unit that's got a lot of attack, they're gonna do a lot with that. They're also getting a skill bubble and they're getting a boosted blast radius. They're getting extra bubbles. Hugo's pretty stacked. They've made him a really good unit. It's quite interesting that the one unit that is not present in the anime from the gacha units has the most interesting kit, at least in my opinion. Really like his kit. Obviously, I wanted Rainer most because he was my favorite as a character. But in terms of kit, I think Hugo definitely had my favorite kit. Moving on to the free-to-play units, we've got Luvis, our first unit with a costume. He's actually, as of recording this video, not out yet. He comes out tomorrow. Costume looks okay. It looks okay. For an aura costume, it looks okay. I think the other one in this event looks better. But let's talk about his skills. Inflict 322% damage to 1 enemy. And at the start of next turn, convert 1 random bubble to a skill bubble with 15% base damage. Now, I've had a bit of time to think about this skill. And I still don't really know if it's good or not. Because, yes, okay, so say you burst and you use your ultimate attack and it's gone. Then next turn, before you even do anything, you get another skill bubble on the board. And most importantly, it is at the start of next turn, not at the end of this turn. Which means the enemy can't interrupt it. The next turn, you just get a skill bubble. The enemy has already done what they're going to do to your board. If they were going to burst skill bubbles, if they were going to place block bubbles, whatever, they've already done it. You get a skill bubble. So that's quite good. And especially on a board where you might have like a lot of block bubbles, having that 1 skill bubble might be enough to burst a bit of space for you to try and work with without having to waste any support skills. I could see this being very useful. Now, a lot of people have asked, what about, because, you know, it's not a lot of damage, 15% is not a lot of damage. What about if this was on a standard gacha or a limited or a Muso? Like, what could those percentages look like? How overpowered could it be? To be honest, I don't know. I don't know. Obviously, they wouldn't want to make it too overpowered. But yeah, I mean, if we were talking about like a limited standard unit, and they had a skill bubble with like 50%, 60%, something like that, that could legitimately be a way to just string together damage over and over again. Because, you spawn that 1 skill bubble, and then you use it, and then the next turn you do the same thing, and then you use it, and the next turn you do the same thing. It would be constant. It's quite interesting. For a free-to-play unit, I think that's a very good skill. That's a very good skill. His passive reduces the number of turns of curse by 2 and boosts his attack by 20% unconditional. Pretty nice for considering he is a very easy to farm unit, because only the catastrophe event is of a difficulty. It's the only hard event from his. It's the only hard stage from his event. The stage you actually farm on is transcendent, so it's quite easy. It's a good set of skills, I've got to be honest with you. Good set of skills. And on top of that, he does get luck skills, which are a little bit worse because he is of a lower difficulty. They are locked behind a 70% or less HP restriction. But it's an ultimate attack damage boost. 5, 10, 14% ultimate attack damage boost. And 10% normal attack damage boost. So as your HP comes down a little bit, you're going to be getting a pretty decent buff to his stats. The buddy skill, reduce the number of turns of burn for blue team members by 1, and for 3 turns boost the ultimate attack damage of blue team members by 18%. I would say that's pretty solid. I mean, anytime you're reducing burn with like a buddy skill, you want it to be doing something else. I think I'm more of a fan of ones that either manipulate bubbles or give some kind of anything other than like ultimate attack buff. I'm not a big fan of those. Because they are good and they are definitely useful, but I would prefer to have a bit more control over the board or a skill bubble or something like that. But no, for a free-to-play unit, again, very nice kit, considering he's going to be an easy-to-farm unit, and I think one of the only demons of note, I think, in the series that people genuinely might remember the name of and be looking forward to obtaining. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. Speaking of which, these little things here, the little book images, I've decided to go with the Japanese ones from now on. Some of the scans for like Viz Media and stuff, the English ones, not very good. Not very good quality. Like weirdly faded or like weirdly like messed with the color balance and stuff like that. So we're gonna go with the Japanese ones from now on. Let me know what you think of the ones you've seen in today's video and that you see added to the database going forward. Next up, we have Bayon. Bayon inflicts 342% damage to one enemy, and if they're weakened, an additional 30%. As I mentioned before, optimally you will be weakening, so it's okay damage. I think that's pretty good. 372% for a free-to-play unit. It's not bad. Passive skill, 75% counter guard. Not a big fan of counter guard, if I'm honest. But he'll pair quite well with the, I think, Yamamoto and the Chrome we got in the Kateku Hitman Reborn event, as they were both blue counter resist units. Are we about to get some crazy red counter stage? I don't know. I think Enma had counter, but maybe there'll be another one. I don't know. When your HP is 80% or less, reduce damage received for blue team members up to 250. He supports the team. Another blue unit that supports the team that has counter guard. How strange. How strange. The luck skills are unconditional. Boost to ultimate attack damage and reduce damage received. These are more selfish skills than his other passive ability. They're only for him, not for blue team members. And the percentage is obviously a little bit smaller because they are unconditional. Not bad though. I think he's going to do some decent damage. And I think he's also going to help out with reducing damage, especially against counter. Might even be a good unit for Enma's stage, if you were having a bit of trouble with that before. Not too at all. The buddy skill is another curse reduce for blue and yellow, and for 2 turns reduce the attack of all enemies by 20%. Good potential there. So good potential there. Nothing super amazing, but I think the fact that you're getting curse reduced for 2 different types and then also attack reduction for all enemies, it's okay. It's okay. As far as ultimate class unit goes, or catastrophe class, it's okay. There's the costume. I much prefer this costume to but that might just be a matter of personal opinion. I like the way the soft blue looks in the Jumputi style. Moving on to the Transcendent class units, we have Sonju. Sonju inflicts 310% damage to one enemy, and if they have attack up, an additional 25%. Attack up is very common, so 335% damage is okay for a Transcendent class event. Passive boosts his attack by 18% unconditional, and when your Legend Summon gauge is 35% charge or more before this unit's turn, convert 1 block to a green. Not a big fan of this, but it's okay. Considering it's a Transcendent class, it's okay. And when your HP is 40% or more, you get some additional buffs to his attack and normal attack damage. Really not a great front line, but to be expected of a Transcendent class unit. His buddy skill, convert 9 heart bubbles to blue, and for 5 turns, boost the normal attack damage of green team members by 60%. I mentioned this before, the last time we had one of these. These are very good for if you have the equivalent limited that boosts normal attack damage, so he would probably pair quite nicely with Mugetsu Ichigo as a support. Very, very nice. And finally, we have Lucas. Lucas is a Transcendent class unit, but I think they've done him quite nicely. For 1 turn, boost the attack of yellow team members by 27%, and for 1 turn, reduce damage received for yellow team members by 720. So, buffs all round. We like that. He could actually be quite useful as a leader for a Transcendent class, that is. And his luck skills actually help with the damage reduction. They are all damage reduction except the last one, which is ultimate attack damage boost, all for yellow team members. So this man is a full-blown frontline support. We love that. And the passive, reduce the number of turns of bubbling effectiveness for this unit by 2. And when this unit is attacked during the next turn, boost this unit's recovery by 35%. It's an okay passive. I think the luck skills and the ultimate attack are much better, but it's alright. The buddy skill. Roll back bomb timers by 1 turn for yellow team members. For 1 turn, boost the attack of yellow team members by 40%. It's okay. Like I said before, again, yeah, like you've got the one part that's dealing with the debuff, and then you've got the one part that's giving you some kind of bonus, some kind of buff. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. Considering 1 turn 40% attack boost used to be like a standard gacha level attack boost on a passive, or support rather. Not bad. Not bad. For the Legend Summon, let's go down to the Promised Neverland. I should have had this ready beforehand. We have William Minerva. This is a special Legend Summon that once you've completed it during this event, you might find that it doesn't come back for a very long time, so please do try and complete it. Convert 4 block bubbles to rainbow, recover 15.2k HP, and for 2 turns, reduce damage received for yellow and blue team members by 2500. Pretty good. Pretty good. The fact that you're getting some block bubbles converted, 15.2k is a very good upfront heal. A lot of the other units that heal more than this, or about the same amount as this, it's over a few turns. And damage reduction on top. This could be interesting. Obviously more of a, I think more of a standard gacha, not standard, what am I talking about? A PvE Legend Summon than a PvP, but could see some use, could definitely see some use. But that's going to do it for this video. That's going to do it for the Promised Neverland batch review. I'm sure we'll be back with more news about the anniversary, because that's coming up very, very soon. And I think we have some theories, we have some speculations as well. But for today, that's the end. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you all next time.